Well, if you're interested in buying a new home in Illinois next year, you may be able to do it and have your student loans forgiven.
Capitol Bureau Chief Max Cotton explains the return of Illinois' SmartBuy program.
SmartBuy is back. Earlier this month, Governor Pritzker announced the popular program's return as part of his initiative to expand affordable housing in the state.
The program provides affordable fixed-rate mortgages, closing cost assistance, and up to $40,000 per household in student loan relief to borrowers who buy a home here in Illinois.
Pritzker says when the program first launched in 2020, 631 individuals and families bought new homes using SmartBuy, and the state helped people pay down more than $17 million in debt. In this round, people who use the program will also get $5,000 in deferred down payment and/or closing cost assistance.
It's a very safe, affordable program administered by the state of Illinois, and we as the lender help you achieve that program.
Who's eligible? The program is open to first-time and repeat home buyers. You must have at least $1,000 in student debt and no more than $40,000. The state will only pay off student loans in full. Partial repayment is not an option.
Student loan payments are really one thing that eats up a lot of people's qualifying in order to buy a home. The great thing about this program is it allows us to basically eliminate that monthly debt. So now you can qualify without having that burden of the student loan payments.
Accola says you need to work with an Illinois Housing Development Authority approved mortgage lender to access the program. They'll work with the IDHA to take care of the behind-the-scenes paperwork to get you approved. But most importantly, it's a chance to take your student debt and turn it into housing payments.
And it's basically a 2-for-1. People can get out of student loan debt and they can buy their new dream home.
In Springfield, Max Cotton, WGEM News.
Thank you, Max. In addition to relaunching SmartBuy, Pritzker also signed an executive order creating a new Housing Solutions Director position. That position will work with state agencies to create and implement innovative solutions to increase attainable middle-class homes and rental options.